Yay Media Group.
I said to my husband, I'm going to give it one more year. And then I gotta do something else. I can't keep thinking this thing's going to happen for me. And I don't know what I'm doing anymore. So I was starting to get like a little bit down on it. And we were working and, stretching and going over our stuff. And I happened to overhear her say something like, we'd love to have more female directors on this show. We've had a few, but the problem is there are so few and they're always busy. And I was like, this is your moment. This is your moment.
Calling.
Hello and welcome back to Hey Dude, the 90's Called podcast. I'm David Lasher and I'm here with my partner in nostalgia, Christine Taylor.
Hi,
Christine
David.
Joan Taylor. What happened to the Joan?
Christine Joan Taylor Stiller. Christine Joan Taylor
Stiller. Yeah, but the Joan is no longer, right? In your profession.
Joan is, I know. You know what it was? When I had to join the Screen Actors Guild, there was another Christine Taylor.
How dare her?
It was Christine. I had to join as Christine Joan Taylor. And I think I even am credited in a couple early jobs with Christine Joan Taylor. Maybe Calendar Girl might be Christine Joan Taylor. Because Joan is my mom's
with
name.
Jason Priestley?
Yes, and Jerry O'Connell.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God.
But I did eventually, I think whoever the other Christine Taylor was, I think I ended up doing a little more work than her. And so I ended up kind of like being able to
You won the name? That's great.
The name. And I don't even know that I know the other Christine Taylors, but I feel like there's a lot of Christine Taylors out there.
There's only one Christine Taylor in our universe.
Only one in this podcast, that's for sure. Well, David, did you watch the miniseries, or it's not even called that anymore, limited series, Task?
No.
Oh my God.
What is that?
It's a limited series that just ended on Sunday night with Mark Ruffalo and Tom, I'm going to mispronounce his last name. His name, Tom Pelfrey.
No.
It is Martha Plimpton's in it. It is this.
Oh my God, really?
Highly, highly recommend. I think it's 7 or 8 episodes. And it came on weekly. So Ben and I, it was like our Sunday night treat. We would look forward to it every Sunday night. You and Jill need to watch Task. So now you can binge it. It's on HBO Max, or is it HBO Max now again, or is it just Max?
Yeah, I think so. Well, that's good. We can watch tonight because today is our anniversary. And a funny story, we had dinner reservations and I had forgotten. I knew I had a colonoscopy scheduled for tomorrow, but I forgot that I have to be fasting all day and take these like laxatives tonight. And that's going to be our anniversary celebration. So
did you cancel the dinner? Are you going to do the dinner? Are you postponing the dinner? Or are you still going to go and just watch Jill eat while you sit and drink water and the weird like colonoscopy concoction that you have to drink at like 8 p.m. and 12 midnight or something?
Yeah, we're going to reschedule the dinner celebration.
Okay, good.
But you said to me when I told you this earlier, like, that's what 26 years of marriage looks like.
I said, yeah, very, very sexy. That's what you get after 26 years, a fasting and a colonoscopy the next day.
Yeah, and me on the toilet with laxatives. Okay.
But you guys should treat yourself as a distraction from not being able to eat. Treat yourself to this show. I think you're going to really love it. And Task, yeah. And I have a feeling it's going to be like nominated for everything because everybody in it is amazing. And yeah, it's just so good.
Oh, I'm so excited. Good. We need a new show.
All right. Tell us about our guest.
Yes. So Christine Lakin is best known for all those 160 episodes of Step by Step, which, was the anchor of TGIF for all those years.
Iconic.
And she's a great voiceover actress. She's a TV director now, a dance choreographer. There's so much to talk to her about. So let's welcome in Christine Lakin.
Yes. I want to hear the origin of you two. Because I know you guys go way back.
No,
we do.
To the Hollywood Darlings.
It's that, but David was a guest star on Step by Step in season 2.
Right,
Don't forget that, David.
We're going back to the 90s, David.
That was one of my first jobs. Oh my God. Yes. We talked about this on your podcast, but yeah, that was such a cool set because Suzanne Summers and Patrick Duffy were like the height of TV stardom. Like, it didn't get bigger than that. And to be on a set with them, to someone who had just started working, was overwhelming. I remember.
Yeah. I mean, you were so great on the show. I mean, Stacey and I both, you know, as we've been going through these episodes, we have what we call the 90s cute boy file, which is every adorable boy that they cast on the show to either be a potential love interest, a love interest. So David was definitely already in the 90s cute boy file. But you did such a great job. You played this like country club guy who, you know, she doesn't want to be there, but then they end up, you know, kind of connecting. And then of course it's awkward because all the cronies, his father and all these people are sort of like putting Frank down, and, you know, it becomes awkward for Stacey's character, but you played it so well. Like, you were just so, adorable and sweet. And yeah, I mean, it was no wonder you went on to just do all the shows. But I have to say, I mean, I was a huge Blossom fan, massive, when growing up, and wanted all the hats, and very influenced by Blossom. But when you came to do Hollywood Darlings, it was just, it's hilarious. It was such a random episode. But I loved doing that show with Beverly and Jody because it was partially scripted, and we just got to play these versions of ourselves, which, if you've never done Larry David style, I highly recommend. It is so much fun to do.
Tell our listeners, because we've talked to, we talked a little bit to Jody about it back when she came on, and we talked to Beverly, but tell our listeners just a little bit more about how you guys came to that show. And was this sort of the three of you came up with this brainchild, or did somebody else come up with it for you? And how many episodes did you guys do?
Okay, so it was somewhat put together. There's a producer named Jimmy Fox, wonderful, and he had this idea to bring together kind of this dream team of 90s women. And who were these women going to be? And it was this idea that it wouldn't be a reality show, but it would be is kind of Curb Your Enthusiasm, making fun of ourselves, playing versions of ourselves, lightly scripted comedy.
Got it. Where you were, you had been stars in the 90s of your own shows, and you all kind of know each other, and it's sort of how you're navigating situations and relationships and each other, and
motherhood, and
great.
Yes,
I love it.
So, and as he started to do this kind of search, and put out feelers and have meetings with different actresses, he realized a lot of us actually know each other. Like, it wasn't just this thing he was going to have to put together, we'd have to pretend. Like a weird sorority, a lot of us have run into each other time and time again. So, I knew Jody from way back when. We used to go to the same acting class. We had the same producers on Friday night television, which just lends to going to some of the same kind of umbrella corporate parties.
Step by Step was Miller Boyette?
It sure was.
Oh, same producers as Full House. Okay.
Yeah. So there would be some crossover there. And then Beverly, I had met because I had done an episode of Seventh Heaven right after Step by Step stopped airing. And so we had crossed paths a couple times in that way as well. But anyway, from my point of view, I had done, right before I had met with Jimmy, I wrote and starred in a digital series that I created called Lakin, and sold it to Hulu. And now you can find it on YouTube. It is so stupid. But
what was that? What was that about?
Yes.
Loving Lakin?
We have to see.
Stupid. So I play a version of myself. I'm basically playing like an idiot version of myself who's this former child actor who thinks that like everyone still remembers her, but like literally no one remembers her.
It's like Valerie Cherish.
It is Valerie Cherish.
Yes, a little comebacky, right? Yes.
Yeah. And the episodes are they're all like 5 minutes long. And the episodes are all like, I'm teaching an acting class and saying incredibly inappropriate things to the children.
Right.
And, going in for an audition. But of course, I'm going in for this like role that's really supposed to be played by like a 14-year-old, but just still going full out,
Hilarious.
So anyway, it was really fun. We had a blast making it. We had a lot of fun.
Did you direct those?
I directed 2 of them. I wrote it. Cool. And my friend at the time was working at this documentary company and just wanted to do something. When people had cameras, people were like, what should we do? Should we make something? I'm like, let's make something. Yeah. But we ended up getting a bunch of funny people in it. There's an episode with Jamie Lee Curtis. There's an episode with Kristen Bell, Kristen Chenoweth.
Oh my God.
So Jimmy had seen this.
So much fun. Okay,
it was really great. And then he was like, wait a minute, you've kind of already done this and you clearly don't care to make yourself the butt of the joke. You might be good for this.
Right.
So it kind of paved the path a little bit for Hollywood Darlings. But it was just, we did 2 seasons. I think we did 8 episodes each. I really feel like it was a little bit before its time, in a way. And I wish we had been able to continue doing it because we just had such a blast. It was so much fun and getting to, I guess, I don't know, sort of take the piss out of ourselves. And then also, getting to be on the other side of creating some of what the storylines were going to be, what we wanted to bring in from our real lives, like what was fake, what was real.
Right.
That sounds like a dream job. Working with friends, playing silly versions of yourselves, helping to shape the scripts or the episodes, but then being able to improv the whole thing. I mean, who gets to do that? That's so cool.
Wait, and David, did you play yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
I played myself.
Everyone was right. So did you guys dig into your cute boy 90s style and decide like, who do we want to have come on to play themselves?
There were a lot of discussions around, Jimmy would come out. He was like, we have to have people in your orbit on the show. Right. So he would have this, a long list of people and we would sort of be like, oh, I know so-and-so. Oh, I know so-and-so. Right. So sometimes it was about just calling up a friend and being like, hey, you want to come and do our show? It's like me calling Patrick Duffy and being like, want to come do my show? And he'd be like, oh, okay, I can make it down. Sure, why not? But with David, I remember Jimmy pitching you and we were all like, oh my God, yes, absolutely. Will he do it? And then you came on to do it. And it was kind of a strange episode. I was doing something, we were at like a Wicca type place, like some kind of witch place. I don't know.
Witchcraft, yeah.
I can't remember what we were doing. I can't specifically, but anyway, it was, it had to do something with witchcraft. I don't know.
I mean, whenever
it's a
being
Sabrina
on set,
reference, yeah.
Right,
yeah, whenever it can be that loose and easy and fun, it's such a gift,
Yeah. The pilot episode of Step by Step, my character Al gets appendicitis. So the family comes together. They forget none of the kids know that the parents get married. It's a total, Brady Bunch, but dysfunctional situation. So all the kids are pissed off. They hate each other. And then Al, in the second act, gets appendicitis, and no one believes her because she's like a known liar. But of course, Carol, being her new stepmother, is unaware of her past grievances and takes her to the hospital. It turns out she really is sick. So there's this whole moment at the very end that's like this real bonding moment between them. And it was like heartfelt. And I guess they felt like they needed to have someone, like a kid who could really deliver the heart along with the comedy. So anyway, I come home from school. My dad's like, they want to see you in California. And I'm like, that's crazy. Y'all are nuts. But my dad, I'm an only child. My dad flew a lot. We had a lot of frequent flyer miles. So he flew my mom and I out. I did the audition and for Tom Miller and Bob Boyette and Barbara Marshall. And then I walked out into the lobby and they said, well, if she's leaving tomorrow, do you want to see it again? And they all went, okay. And so I went back in And I did it all again. And they, TV writers and producers, they all laugh in the same places because you know where the jokes are.
Yeah.
And also the jokes they wrote. The jokes that they wrote.
Totally.
They're like monkeys.
That's
right.
it. That's
laughing
it.
at
That's how we want
themselves,
it.
their brilliance. Yes.
Yes. And then I was like, okay, I mean, whatever. And then we get a call the next morning at the hotel. You book the pilot. You start tomorrow.
How excited were you?
I truly didn't really know what was going on. I had no stake in the game. This wasn't built up for me. I hadn't been trying to get a pilot for years. I wasn't going out for pilot season, staying at the Oakwood. I was like living my life thinking about like the frog I was dissecting on Friday and how pissed I was going to have to miss it, And then all of a sudden they're like, you got to go to Magic Mountain, get on this thing. They're filming opening titles.
The roller coaster sequence.
Oh my God.
Right.
That's the first thing we filmed. Like
you had that little taste of LA when you said you came, you went to Venice Beach. Like that must have been seductive. And the idea of getting to stay in LA.
Oh yeah.
Had to be really cool.
And they moved us from Woodland Hills to Century City. You got to stay in the Century Plaza Hotel. Are you kidding me? It was like, I went from like a Hilton Garden Inn to like Eloise and the Plaza. It was unbelievable. Yeah, it was really fun. I mean, it was definitely wild. Of course, I had some experience, so being on set wasn't foreign, but being in a sound stage, it certainly was. I had never done that before, not with 3 cameras like that. I'd done plays, so that was helpful because I sort of understood the blocking of theater, and it definitely feels more like theater than anything, a sitcom.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
So was that?
And you're like Suzanne Summers. Listen, the Three's Company years, I don't know if I watched them in reruns or whatever, but I know every single episode.
Same.
She's right? Like
same.
Iconic.
That was
if you're
like
gonna
my favorite show when it was
I don't
on.
think there's ever been a better sitcom.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But to learn from her, like you're on this whole new path and you're there next to one of the icons of TV sitcoms. What was she like? Was she cool to work with?
Oh, it's just the most generous, the kindest, warm, it's self-deprecating, funny.
Oh God.
Just everything you want in the matriarch of your show, I mean, and I've said this before, but the idea that Patrick Duffy, Suzanne Summers, 2 people who really at the very top of their game, big stars, would want to come and be on a show with 6 children is beyond me. But they were generous and open and warm and loving. And I never saw either one of them irritated or like annoyed or there was none of that on our set. It was really such an incredible time experience, but also an education in how you conduct yourself, in how you work, in how
role models.
Yes,
absolutely.
And how they were. They modeled like such a way to be stars on a show. And they truly also got such a kick out of each other, which is evident. You can see it on the screen. They genuinely liked each other so much.
Yeah, there was something magical about the whole formula. The kids too, though. There's not a lot of shows like that where all those moving parts just click together.
Yeah. And like you said, in the way that like sort of the almost more modern day Brady Bunch, in that way that it was like the dysfunction and the comedy, and it was just the messiness of it. And
Sasha, I gotta say, Sasha was a comedic surgeon.
Yeah.
He was so good. I don't know.
I know.
There's some, I don't want to say underrated, but he was so money on that show. He nailed all that comedy.
He really did. And, watching it again now as an adult and seeing the heavy lift that actor had to do with some of that storyline. I mean, he plays this kind of idiot savant. He's this out
Bill
of...
and Ted. I thought of him as like Bill and Ted's Adventure, yeah.
But he's also this like really kind-hearted sort of moral compass of the group that's also really cool. He's the Fonz, for better or for worse. There's always a Fonz or a breakout character of some kind on these shows. Watch them enough, you'll see a pattern. But, but he really had to sometimes do a very heavy lift in trying to make some of these outlandish ideas funny, and have like great timing and make sense. And I mean, it truly, he does an incredible job on the show. And I think something I didn't appreciate how hard it really was to come off the way it does until I'm watching it now.
I'm so fascinated at how quickly for you, your life shifted from, like you said, dissecting a frog on Friday to moving to LA and like acting for a living, and, obviously, yes, going to school and doing your schoolwork and doing all those things. But did your family, was it just you and your mom at first, or did everybody uproot? How did that work? I mean, because that's the other thing too, as a mom myself now too. And those moments where it's sort of like, okay, you start tomorrow. It's just like, I cannot imagine what your parents were like. Whoosh. Okay. What are we doing? How are we going to make this work?
Certainly my mom always said, she's like, if you were not an only child, I don't think we would have ever entertained this. And I get
uproot everybody in that way. But yeah, wow.
I think given how motivated I was as a kid, like this was not the path my parents necessarily even wanted for me. They tolerated it and supported it to the nth degree. But I think, I think I would have found my way in one way or another. I don't know. Had I not had that success really young, like I did, if it had been a lot harder, and then I went to college, and then maybe I would have gone a different path, just because I would have gotten distracted by something else. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But I will say, the whole change for our life, my mom came with me. My dad had his business was in Atlanta, but it all just ended up working out. He had a corporate office in San Jose, California, and he could work from there. And so once the show got going, I mean, we were staying at like the Oakwoods. We were just renting everything. Like, people were like, listen, just because you got a sitcom doesn't mean it's going to last. Like, first of all, you might get fired after the pilot. Second of all, even if you get picked up, it might go 5 episodes. So like, don't count any of your chickens, Right. So we're staying in corporate housing, just like treating it like we're on location. We're just like, okay, well, this is just going to be maybe a month, maybe 2 months.
This period of time. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, this small period of time. And then as it kind of continued, we had to make some changes, especially when we moved to the Valley. Then it was like, okay, we're going to get an apartment. We're going to maybe start to buy some furniture, stop renting all this furniture,
What
get a
season
storage
was that?
unit.
When did your family realize, this thing's not ending anytime soon?
Yeah. It was really, I think, sometime around I want to say right after season 3. Okay. Then it's kind of like, okay, it's going to go for at least another 2 or 3 years. And I think we got picked up for 2.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, it was a hit. Yeah.
Yeah. So when that happens, you're kind of like, we might as well, go to IKEA and just really,
let's buy the furniture that we're all going to put together.
Yes. Yeah. And I think we drove a car out. Like we had an old car that we drove out and we left here. There were things like that. But my dad would come out, he'd work in San Jose, and then he'd fly down into Burbank, right by Warner Brothers, come to every Friday night taping.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. And then we would be together for the weekend, and then he'd fly back Monday morning. And then for all the weeks that we were off, because, sitcom schedule, you do 3 on, 1 off generally. So 1 week out of the month, everybody's on hiatus. I would fly back to Atlanta, and I would go to my school in Atlanta, and we would be in Atlanta.
Oh, wow. Oh, so you stayed enrolled in the school in Atlanta all that time?
Yeah. Wow, so that was one of my parents' caveats. They were like, we're not going to uproot every single thing of our life. We live there. And one of their things was that you have to fly her home. This is the school that we want her to go to. And we will work with the teachers, and the teachers will work with us. But you have to fly her home every hiatus.
Oh, my God. So you never enrolled in an LA school?
No.
So the tutors on set were basically keeping you up to date on the Atlanta school. Oh, wow.
Yeah. And this is really before mostly email. Like we get into that sort of in the later 90s, but we're talking faxing and Fed Expressing. And it was a lot of, I mean, those poor PAs, I think of the people that worked in the office and all the faxing they had to do for me.
Faxing. Oh God. It's so nice.
Yes. I know, it was such a thing. The faxing, the assignments and
yes.
Oh my gosh.
You know, from February to July, I went home and I was a normal kid. I just went to school and I went to prom and I was in the school musical and I played soccer and I just didn't think about acting at all. And that I think was really good for
balance.
Me. Yeah.
I mean, a terrific balance. I mean, did you find that was it celebrated when you would come home? Coming from a small town, were people excited? Was it a big deal?
Yeah, or that's so cool. You're on TV every Friday.
Yeah, I mean, yes. And also at certain times of your life, it feels like a huge liability.
Yes.
You know,
how?
Well, I mean, think about it. You're in, you know, there's good parts to it. Of course, people are excited and you want to be appreciative of that excitement because of course you love what you do and you're happy that they love it too. And then there's also that other part, I think, especially in certain grades, like 8th grade, 9th grade, where kids are also jealous or just want, I don't know.
Yes.
You don't want to stand out.
Who does she think she is?
No, you don't want to stand out. Yes,
right.
I agree. And I came from a very small town in Pennsylvania. And when things started, but for me, I was in high school already, and that was still a tricky time. But you know, articles would be written about me in the local newspaper, and you know, when I got a Burger King commercial or things like that. But I was so self-conscious about it. I loved doing what I did, but when I was home and in school and I'm not working, I didn't want the attention drawn because I didn't want people to think I thought I was cooler than I was. Totally. I never thought I was cool to begin with, but like kids are going to be kids, and that is a time in all of our lives where yes, jealousy and cattiness and. So it is dicey. It's dicey, especially coming from a little place. Yes.
Yeah. And, you know, that's the thing. Someone asks you a bunch of questions. You want to be gracious, but you also don't want to be like, then all of a sudden they're like, well, okay, enough. Stop talking about yourself. You know, you're like, well, you are
too self-important.
Yeah, exactly.
Those teenage years are so volatile. I mean, I have a 16-year-old daughter and I see there's drama every day. And like, to be dealing with fame and being in front of, you know, TV audience every week and dealing with all of that makes it all more complicated, I'm sure.
Yeah. And then also just awkwardness, puberty, braces, like literally like, going through puberty. I can see it on the show. And I just like, there's times which I'm like, oh, poor girl. Oh,
but your character was like a tomboy.
Yes. And why did they put me in that during that stage? Right?
Yes, exactly.
Oh yeah. Christine knows all about that.
Yes, exactly.
Christine wore shorts up to her rib cage. On Hey Dude.
It was so tightly cinched and just not flattering things that it is all like and I do the same thing like, oh, poor girl, because I also had opinions about how I wanted my hair, and that was a lot of that was my influence, so I can blame it on the show, but it was like I thought that looked cool to have like really big hair and side ponytail with giant bangs and whatever it was. But when you started and like, you know, I'm always fascinated by the shows when they're so family centric, like, and you're spending as much time with them as you are, like you were seeing them more than you were seeing your dad for sure. Cause you were seeing your dad on the weekends only. Like, did everybody just click immediately? And it just was like a warm, yummy place to be.
I mean, at the risk of sounding like Pollyanna, it really was for the most part. I mean, we had the most wonderful producers, warm, generous, kind people at the top. Tom Miller, Bob Boyette, Michael Warren, Bill Bickley, Ross Brown. Like, these were all people who had families, who genuinely cared about the people who worked on our set. And again, you work with giants like that in television. Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, Perfect Strangers, Full House. Like, these are not dumb people. They know how to create an environment for shows that people want to keep working on. And they know how to pick great people to do that. So by the time you get there, so many of our crew had worked on other shows. So it was already this built-in kind of feeling about how you are and what these shows are kind of about and what they're like. I mean, as far as the cast goes, it's funny because we were all very different ages when it started, and there was a big divide, and that divide got smaller as we all grew, because there's a much bigger divide between 8 and 15, or when, I mean, I was 12, but I was really kind of like relegated to hang out with the 10-year-old and the 8-year-old. So it was like me and the two boys.
Stacey was too old to.
Yeah. So like Stacey's 15 or almost 16, and Angela was like 15. And then there's like Brandon Call, who's like 15. So it was kind of felt a little bit like it was like older kids, younger kids.
But you were also sort of in the middle.
Yes, I totally. And I just wanted to hang out with the older kids. I mean, I loved the younger kids, but I just, I wasn't quite there yet at 12.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't going to talk about the things they wanted to talk about.
Sure.
So I always was really like, I very much, and I've told, I very much looked up to Stacey, but I also like a little bit low-key idolized her because I had watched My Two Dads. She was definitely one of the bigger stars of the kids as we started the show.
Yeah, I remember she was the big deal. Like, I remember the first time I met her and was in her orbit, I was like, oh, she's in so many things.
Yeah.
She's in these movies.
So good.
And this
she was
show.
so talented.
She was always
so talented.
Yes, yes.
And very serious,
Yes. So professional.
Yeah. And then, like Brandon Call, obviously he had a lot of female fans, and that just continued to grow as the show grew. But he and I shared a schoolroom. So it was the 2 older girls, the 2 younger boys, and then me and Brandon. And so that was a really funny few years of just him and me in the schoolroom with our teacher. Because I was going to this, college prep, like private school in Atlanta. I'm just trying to keep up with all the things. And he's like on a beanbag. He's got like a magazine. He's like trying to cover it up with Beowulf. Like he's like doesn't want to do any of it. I mean, it was just, and our teacher would leave and he would just, he'd be like, all right, come on, let's go play video games. I'd be like, okay. So,
that's a bond.
We were just like running amok. We were having like such a great time. It was fun.
And when you were on the set, because I want to like get into your directing a little bit, do you remember watching the behind the scenes and being interested in what was going on behind the camera?
Oh yeah, always. Yeah. And our set was so we shot on film. We're one of the last sitcoms to actually shoot on
4 or 5 cameras on film.
3 cameras on film.
Wow, that's expensive.
God.
I know. And so it was really amazing because I actually watched these huge cameras. Someone's literally sitting on it. You have a dolly operator who's moving these cameras around. There's a focus puller who literally would be like pulling the focus on the camera as it's going. No remote focus. There's nothing that wasn't even invented yet. And they are changing out the mags. We're running out of tape. Like it was old school.
Wow.
And they were really generous. I was really curious how the camera worked. How does it, how do you change angles? How do you focus pull? And they would let us sit on these very expensive machines and they would let us basically play with them. They would let us move them around. They would let us focus pull. They would let us try things. They would let us do the clapboard. It was amazing. It was so much fun.
That's so cool. If you were a little older, you probably would have got asked to direct one.
I'm sure. I mean, and even if, it's like, even as an actor, and especially as a young actor, you get used to the routine very quickly. Your brain is very malleable. So once you understand that, oh, I know I have to stand here because this camera is shooting me here, and I stand here because I'm in a 2-shot, so I have to snuggle up to this person, or I'm in a 3-shot, or now we're gonna switch coverage. So that means I go from this side of the set to the 2-shot on this side of the set. Your brain just starts to be like, oh, I know why I'm doing this. And I know where I need to stand for that camera. If I can't see the camera out of my periphery, the camera can't see me. Or my light's actually right here, So
that's why so many actors become really talented directors.
Totally.
You really get, what it's like on the other side. So it informs
like
your skills.
Yeah, it's just like flipping the script a little bit. You're just like looking at it instead of being in it.
Right.
And so I definitely think it informed, it took me a really long time to get to that conclusion that that's really what I wanted to do. Because
how did that come? But what was your path into directing? Because for our audience, you've directed a lot of great television, the Goldbergs and High School Musical. And how did you take that step into directing? Well,
it came kind of on the heels of my aforementioned Love and Lakin series. I had really started to get to a point where auditioning was not the thing that was motivating me anymore. It was fine, but I felt like I just wanted to create. I wanted to do more of my own stuff. So creating that series was one of them. I created a storytelling show that I sold and made a pilot of. So I was just getting into the behind the scenes a little more. And I'd started along with that, I'd started to choreograph for television, for film and television. So I had a dance background.
Choreographed dancing. Yeah. How'd you get into that?
That's so
many weird careers, you guys. So, remember when I said I was going to a dance studio when I was a kid, so I had been a competition dancer up until I was about 12, because then I couldn't continue on with it. Obviously,
like a dance moms kind of thing.
Yeah, I was in a dance company, and we would do performances. And I loved it. I loved to dance. So it was just, again, this kind of inherent knowledge of dance that I had. And I started doing it for my theater company in LA in my 20s, because we needed people to choreograph stuff. And so I would, be the one that would step up, or I'd be the dance captain or whatever that is. And I ended up doing a film in Vancouver called Reefer Madness for Showtime.
Oh, yeah, which started out as a play in LA, right? I saw it in LA. Yeah. I saw the original production.
Really funny.
In LA, yes, it was really funny. Okay.
So I'm up in Vancouver for several weeks, and I'm in a couple of scenes, but I'm up there for a long time. And I ended up doing skeleton crew for the choreographer Marianne Kellogg, where she just needed bodies to make these shapes that she was trying to figure out what she was going to do for these various scenes. So I ended up working alongside her, and I got it. I really loved what she was doing, and I loved helping her. And so when I got back to LA, I was acting in another movie called You Again, and she came in to do some more choreography, and we'd worked together before. So I ended up doing some more assisting.
Such a fun movie. Such a fun one. Yes.
I ended up doing some assisting on that, and she was off choreographing something, but Sigourney Weaver wanted some extra help. So that she said, would you go and meet Sigourney and go through the stuff with her? And I was like, yes, of course I will.
Please.
Hell to the yes.
Me and Sicky, yes. So I just kind of fell into being this actor's choreographer. I have a way. I am not a Mandy Moore, okay? But I have a way of speaking to actors. That is my language. It's my language as a director, and it's my language as a choreographer, because I understand that not everybody was trained the same way that competition dancers are trained, but you need to bridge that gap.
Yes.
So the teaching and the breaking it down, and then the building up the confidence, and then the taking away of what's not working, and the quick switch, and let's try something new, and the improvisation of being able to just, when you realize it's not working and we need to work with the body and the shape that we have. So I kind of fell into it, and for somehow I got on a couple of first ADs radar and got called in the same first AD as Sunday Stevens, who was the first AD on You Again, went on to True Blood. So I got called on to True Blood, and I did the same thing for several of their actors, Anna Paquin, Alexander Skarsgård, a couple different episodes. And then my name got passed on again and again and again. I just started doing this on several shows. I don't know who gave my name to the Goldbergs.
Just word of mouth, because you were so good at, I mean, obviously you had a knack for it. Like, that's just great.
Yeah, I think it was that also I came in like as very actor friendly. And I think a lot of times, I don't know about you, but I have felt this way sometimes when something gets written for you in a script and then you look at it and you're like, oh God, I have to do that. And there were many times that an actor would come to me and they'd be like, okay, you're going to go with Christine. She's the choreographer. And they literally walk in, they're like, I don't dance, just so you know. I am not a dancer. And I'm like, I get it.
That's me.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. We're not relevant. What are we really doing here?
I'm not a dancer. Right.
And I just play it off. I'm just like, oh, it's fine. Like, you're going to be fine. We're going to be great. It's going to be, and the more like low key, we're just like trying stuff. We're not even doing choreography. We're just like moving. And then I could slowly just like very easily get them in to actually do what I was hoping I could get them to do.
Do you think anyone can dance? Like, if you had some time with them?
No.
I was really going to say
you were going to say that.
She's very honest. Like Jeff Garland. Did you get Jeff Garland to dance?
There were times anyone can move. Anyone can move.
Okay,
Does everyone have natural rhythm? No. Does everyone have perfect pitch? No. But can you work with that? Yes. You just have to, sometimes it's a lot more hand holding than other times. And also I always felt like clean and simple was better than trying something and having it just be like messy and kind of bad. So sometimes it was just really about stripping it away and doing like, I love Troy Gentile and I had such a good time on the Goldbergs. He played Barry. Barry was like the brother on the show. He was always having to do things because he knew karate, he knew breakdancing, he knew how to do this and that. And when I remember the first time I had to teach him breakdancing, and I was like, I don't know what your body is doing. I don't know what this is called, but we're gonna make up our own thing, because everything that I had planned, I don't know if that's gonna happen, but we're gonna do what you can do. And we made up, a whole language. And I was literally on the side of that camera yelling these things at him. This happened for years. And I'd be like, try. We're like just doing it with him, alongside him. And I mean, it was really fun. So a long story short, that was my way in. And when I was on that set, I worked on that show for 10 years. And when I was on that set, somewhere in like season 3, season 4, Hollywood Darlings was happening. And I was still working on the Goldbergs. And I just had this like aha moment one day where I realized I was sitting there watching one of their directors waiting for my scene to come up. And I was like, I know how all of this works. And I know what shot they need next. Yeah. I should be sitting in that chair, not this chair. And it was just this like aha moment of like, when you have all the information and you're like in the matrix and you're like, just put me in, let me fight. Let me do it. But then I had to figure out the next big piece was, I know how to do it, but how do I prove to everyone else that I can do it? Right. And that was the hardest part, because nobody wants to hand over that money if you've never done it before. It's there's a lot of ceilings there. So I literally started directing every single thing I could. It didn't matter what it was. If it was your Funny or Die video, great. You want to do a digital series? Cool. It's somebody's music video, anything I could do, because I needed the practice.
And that's such a great lesson for any of our listeners who are interested in getting behind the camera. Is just go out and do anything, any project that's offered to you, because it's practice.
It is. Yeah. And you learn. Every time I do something, I learn from it.
I mean, it's amazing to me, because I feel like when you see that's another thing too, is to be able to sort of have that aha moment of sitting there like, oh my God, I can absolutely do that. I know it.
Yeah.
I know it. But then, like you said, it's just that the next big hurdle to get over. And by being able to, was sort of that way in of directing those little shorts and music videos. And and would you come out of that with this cool reel? Is that what happened to be able to then bring it to the Goldbergs and be like, you guys know me. I've been working on the show for the last 10 years. I know everybody. I know the cast. Look at what I've been doing. Would you give me the shot?
It was sort of. It was a couple different things at the same time. So, I was amassing this reel, not with, I think, any premeditation of I need to do this and then just like give it to them. It was more just like, how do I keep the fire burning? How do I, and also also proving to myself, okay, I really can do it. Like I know what I'm doing.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So there's that too. But then I was in a nonprofit group called We for She. And at the time they were really they took a small group of female directors, aspiring female directors, and they were really trying to help even that playing field, and really advocating on our behalf, which is nice because it's not like I didn't have an agent for directing. I hadn't done anything really of like any value. So, I had no one advocating for me. And when they were like, oh, we'd like to have you in our cohort. And they really helped like connect some of those dots. So they were doing a lot of advocacy for me kind of behind the scenes at the Goldbergs, which for a couple of years. And it just like I still wasn't able to really like get my foot in the door. As much as they knew me, it was like, we love her, we know her, she's the choreographer. It was kind of like hard to move the needle.
They put you in one box. Yes,
everyone
exactly.
does that.
Which everyone does.
Who do you go to on a TV production to advocate for the directing job? Is it the EP, the showrunner, or the line producer?
It's the line producer, really?
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
The showrunner has to eventually sign off on it, but it's also the studio. The studio has to sign off on you.
Sure.
Oh God, so that's a whole nother thing. Yeah.
It's hard. It's so hard to get that foot in the door. I asked to shadow. So I did some formal shadows with several of the directors on the show. And, that's a kind of nebulous process, to be honest, because you're sitting there and you're shadowing and you're learning and you're hopefully asking good questions, but also like nobody's sitting there being like, that was a good question. Let's have her.
No, but you can say, oh, I put in my hours as a shadow.
And I also know how the show, like, I've sat in Video Village enough that I understand personalities and I kind of understand the rhythm and I sort of know the kind of shots. Like I've studied this show. I know what you like. But really the key that, that really turned the lock for me was Wendy McClendon. She was the key, I have to say. And it was her, once she found out that I wanted to do that job, she was so behind me, like 100%.
Who's Wendy?
She played Beverly Goldberg on the show.
Yeah, she's the actress on the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, she's fantastic.
She's so funny, so excellent.
Along with like the Frentas, I would say Mindy Sterling, Jennifer Irwin, Stephanie Courtney. I was working on one of the episodes. It was a Flashdance episode, obviously. And I was like 3 months pregnant or something with my second kid. And I, to be honest, had gotten a little bit to a point where I was starting to lose hope. I was starting to lose hope that this job was never going to happen for me. And I had been working at it, trying to get my foot in the door for like almost 5 years. And I said to my husband, I'm going to give it one more year. And then I gotta do something else. I can't keep thinking this thing's gonna happen for me and I don't know what I'm doing anymore. So I was starting to get like a little bit down on it. And we were working and, stretching and going over our stuff. And I happened to overhear her say something like, we'd love to have more female directors on this show. We've had a few, but the problem is there are so few and they're always busy. And I was like, this is your moment. This is your moment. This is your moment. This is your moment.
Oh my God.
And just like when I was like, Christine, you're great. I was like, I would like to direct this show. think I raised my hand. Oh. And I wasn't even really in the conversation, but I kind of like turned around and I was like, I've been trying to direct this show for 2 years. And they were all like, what? You want to direct? And I was like, I really do. And they were like, you would be so fabulous. You would be so great. And I was like, okay, well, yeah, I really want to do it. Anyway. And then by the end of that day, all four of them were just like, we're behind you 100%. And just the props, just the support, if nothing else, it gave me that like boost that I needed, to be like, okay, I can keep going. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I know that she said some things to Jeff. Don't you think Christine would be great? And Jeff was like, oh my God, we love Christine. And like, there was just sort of, it started a little bit of conversation. Yeah. So that the next time my name got put in there, during hiatus, and they knew they were getting picked up again, and she kind of went in and they said some things, and I got a call that summer. And by this point I was like 8 months pregnant, and saying, hey, are you still interested in directing the Goldbergs? And I was like, are you joking? Yes, of course. And they said, okay, well, Adam Goldberg wants to see your reel. And I was like, ugh.
Oh God. Thank God you had that reel.
I was like, oh my God, Fawn okay.
Preparation meets opportunity right there.
Right. But then I was also like, and then I'm looking at this reel I have of all these things, and I'm kind of cutting little things together to make sure that everything's too long, but like links here and links there. And I was just like, oh my God, this is awful. I'm having like total imposter syndrome.
All of it. Yes.
8.5 months pregnant too.
Right.
Oh
Yeah. And also just being like, it's not my fault. These are the things I got to direct. It's like I haven't had the big opportunity yet. So I can only show what I can show, right?
Yes.
So I give it all, and I'm just like, yeah, okay. And I don't hear anything, and a couple of weeks goes by, and I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. Oh. I am in the hospital about to deliver my second child. Literally. It's about the day before, the day of, I delivered my second baby, and I get a call from my manager. He's like, I feel like you might be having a baby. I'm like, I'm at Tarzana Providence. What's up? And he's like, so we just got an avail check for you for the Goldbergs. Really bad timing. You know what? Go have your baby. Maybe we talk about this later. And I was like, I'll do it.
I'll do it. I'll be there right now.
He's like, ask your husband, have your baby. Maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow, And anyway, so I had my son, and the next morning I had an email saying that it was an offer, and to let us know, no pressure, we can come back. It's not good time. And I was like, talk to my husband, and I was like, I mean, everything's good, baby's good, I'm good. It's in 8 weeks. What do you think? And he's like, I think you have to do it. I was like, I have to do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I did.
That's an amazing story. The things coming
Incredible.
to fruition as you're giving birth. Like, oh, that's so awesome.
But it's also
wild, right?
exactly the way show business works too. It's you get those calls in the least convenient moments.
Times of your life.
Exactly, where it's like you're just getting offered this, and it's like, whatever, monumental moment in your life. But wow, that's truly the epitome of tenacity and grit. And for you, like, I didn't realize, like, from the time when you said it in the middle of your story, when you said it had been 5 years that you had been putting into this. And, so this is not a lesson to everyone listening. These things don't happen overnight. And it's always what comes first, the chicken or the egg. That's the thing. When you know you're capable of doing something, but you haven't done it, you have to do something to prove that you can do it. But how do you get to do that thing to prove it?
Catch 22.
It's so hard. And even after I did the first one, you know how many executives I sat down with on Generals, and they were like, well, that's so nice they gave you one. That's great. You know what you really need is 2. And you know what you really need is a different show. And then you're just like, I know, but you're the person that could give me that job.
Yes. But now I have this. But
you're it's a constant proving yourself, and then you get a few more under your belt, and then it's like, okay, well, now we can get you this meeting here. And, but it just never, I don't know. I feel like maybe one day it'll be easier, but I feel like it's always a bit of a grind.
Yeah, but you at least busted open a whole new path.
Yeah.
So there's a whole nother skill that you can go work at, It's
we haven't even touched on your that you're one of our, you know, like this is what David and I talk about in this podcast all the time. You have that beloved job of doing voice work.
I do.
You are a voiceover actor.
Yes.
That David and I, we can't crack our way into that business to save our lives. No matter what
voiceover envy.
We have voiceover envy. That's such a great thing to have too. Like
I live my life half in a closet.
Yeah. Well, it's a nice closet that pays some bills, you know?
Yes. Yeah. Again, like so weird. You know, when I was just acting, I was, and I hadn't gotten in really too much into the choreography and stuff yet. I started doing some auditions for animation and all of this. And I fell into it. I did an audition for an audiobook. This is like back when they were like books on tape. And, and I got this one and I really like doing it. I love to read. I love telling stories. It went really well. And then the director just remembered me and kind of called me back for another one. And we did a few more and, you know, and anyway, it's become this like 15-year thing. And so a lot of times now, I mean, I'm very lucky. It's a lot of incoming calls now. And I go into my closet and I read stories to people's ears.
And then, the output, the calls come in, you go into your closet, you put it out there. And that is
like, don't bother me. I'm reading.
Do you do like all different character voices, or are you more like the every girl next door kind of voice?
I always put the narrator in my voice. Like whoever the first person perspective is, it's got to be my voice because that's just, it's too hard to sustain for, you know, the first person POV. But I do all kinds of, there's old women who are, you know, nosy neighbors. And then,
my God, that's great.
And then there's always like the vapid young girl who's like, Mom, why? You know, and then
shit,
every now and then I'll even do, you know, I get it, guys. You and me. It's you and me forever. Yeah.
And you're a guy.
See, David, that's why we're not working in the voiceover business. That's why.
That is a real talent.
A real talent. That is so good.
I really love when I get a book with accents. It's my favorite.
Oh my God, stop.
If I could do an entire book that was just all British, it'd be my favorite thing in the world.
How did you learn? How do you master a British accent?
I don't know. I have a friend though.
You have an ear. You definitely have an ear. I feel like that's part of it. You can hear it, right? You hear it.
I love to mimic people. Whenever I get back to the Midwest and people are talking to me, oh, Christine, you don't even know, okay? You don't even know what we've been through here.
That's my favorite accent.
Right? It's my favorite. It's so good.
How the heck are you?
Oh, gosh, yeah. But we both have great voices. You do. David, yours is so textured. I feel like you really should be doing more commercials.
David.
Yeah, tell someone.
I've done a few of those auditions in my closet, and it is so embarrassing because I'm sweating, first of all. Because they say, like, put a coat over you and, like, try to have it be a soundproof. And we have dogs and the whole thing. And I'm trying to, like, use my light from my phone to read the thing. And you're only reading your line. So you have nobody, like you have nothing to respond or react to. You're reading like a one-off line and then the next one has nothing to do with the first one. And then it's just, and I've spent all of this time and I'm like, that was horrendous. Like,
well, Christine, you read the heck out of some Quince copy.
I mean,
some Hello Fresh.
Seriously, you do the Quince copy, guys. You know, when it's about buying things online, I can be very passionate. Oh my God, Christine, we've kept you for so long. This was such a delight.
It really was
so much
fun.
Thank
you so much for having me.
Oh my gosh, those accents and the dialects and
that was cool.
Her voiceover action. And that was just like a sort of PS moment at the end of this incredible story of
she does a lot of voice work.
Yeah, but I mean, I can't get over I'm blown away at the work she put in to make a name for herself, to get to direct, to actually now be, you know, that she considers herself a director now. She said she doesn't really act. I mean, she does voiceover acting, but the auditioning and that, you know, you got to listen to your heart. And I just feel like when and the choreography stuff, I mean, she's a multi-talented woman, really multi-talented. And
when people hear, oh, this actress became a director, obviously that I don't think people understand how hard that switch is.
Yeah.
That you really have to prove yourself all over again.
For sure. And what I also love too, when she was talking about it a little bit, when the cast or the people on the Goldbergs were talking about wanting to get more, women on the show to direct.
Yes.
That is, interestingly, in all of my years of doing a lot of comedies and a lot of guest starring on a lot of comedies, very rarely did I have a female director. Very, very rarely over the years. I mean, I've had women direct me in feature films and other things, but the TV world, so I love that for women. I love that, she's, staying with this and doing it. And it's just very, very cool. I loved getting to know her. That was so great.
That was so much fun. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Please follow us at Hey Dude, the 90's Called on socials. Subscribe to our podcast wherever you get your podcasts and watch us on YouTube and share these episodes. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone.